I don't think he has the order in this order necessarily. I'm not sure about the order, but he mentioned the next two movies would be Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse and Megamind. Also, had he been here, he was going to mention his movie night poster artistic contest, but he's not here. If you guys don't know what we're talking about, we have a mention of it in last week's meeting minutes, which are on our forums under the meeting minutes under September 29th or whatever our last meeting was. Let me look up the minutes from last week. Meeting minutes from 6/29. What we had so far was a graphic image for movie night. We're calling it the Movie Night Banner Contest. Must say Movie Night Monday on it somewhere. It should be in poster report, portrait at orientation, which means slightly taller than it is, or like twice as tall as it is wide, really. Let's see. Any member or staff is welcome to participate. It can be original art or photos only. Try not to use like stock photos and stuff like that. And if you do have to use anybody else's work, you have to cite your sources where they came from. Even if you use like a website like canva.com to make your art, let people know that you used Canva. Kessa was offering a $10 Steam gift card to the winner. If there are less than 3 or 4 entries, she's talking about a $10 gift card to everyone, I think. I'll let her speak on that. But we're developing ideas and specifics on the date, and last meeting minutes had several links for like graphic programs that are free and websites you can use that work kind of like Photoshop. Just posted the link to those meeting minutes in the meeting hall channel. You want to peruse those meeting minutes. Yeah, so what we'll do is try to get with Bob over the next couple of days and absolutely iron out exactly when it's going to start. Get the template put out, that kind of thing. Right, Sky Ranger, they don't require that you cite theirs as a source, but we're saying for the contest, we want to know where people got stuff, just so we know that, like, if it has this gorgeous, like, vector of a shape, we know where the shape came from. Anywho, so that's something I'll try to get Bob to like iron out for sure all the details that we're not completely nailed down, and get a template out that people can use. Incidentally, if anybody wants to use any of the free resources that we listed in those meeting minutes, like the Photoshop clone programs or anything like that, and you have absolutely no idea how those programs work, just let us know and maybe we can toss together a tutorial or something. Most of those programs aren't too hard to just do basic graphics and stuff with. There's always crayons, yeah. And Drawpile, and there's pretty much any artistic program that can make an image is fair game. And which, the reason she mentions crayons is, I mean, you could draw something on a sheet of paper and then scan it into the computer and share it with us that way. But that's actually the only item on the agenda. Does anybody have anything they want to say about movie nights or the contest for movie nights, any of that? Alrighty, like I said, we'll nail down all the specifics with Bob over the next few days, and then I'm sure we'll make an announcement when it's officially on. All righty. At this time, I'll ask, does anybody have any open meeting business, any suggestions, comments, questions, anything like that they want to bring up? Indeed. Welcome to the meeting there, Colonel Sternite. Do any of our leaders have anything they want to bring up or share with anybody, like about devotionals or prayer nights or anything like that?
The devotionals group just started a 35-day devotional. It's not too late to join. Talk to Amroth if you want an invitation or an explanation of how it works.
Alrighty, nobody has anything to bring up? No leaders have anything else to share? No other questions or concerns? Sky Ranger is still working on fish sticks. Well, I mean, like, we're trying to, like, share stuff that's not, like, you know, already understood. Fish sticks are a delectable little dinner snack. You put them in the oven and well, when it comes out of the oven, most people use forks. Thank you, Glow, for being our Explain Like I'm Five representative for the evening.
I didn't realize there was someone out there who didn't know what fish sticks were. It's okay.
I think he's trolling, but I'm not completely sure. Yeah, he's trolling.
I would never troll.
Okay, I guess I'll put this PSA out there. We had to ban someone recently. I'm sure you guys all saw the announcement about a Reverend Lighthouse. This is not something that happens very often in CC. That said, she was on the server for several months before she was caught. So we don't know if anyone was affected beyond what was brought to our attention this time. So if you have any information or if you know anybody who's had a bad experience with that or other users, we'd like to know. You can talk to a council member. You can request anonymity if you need to. This is something we don't want to let go unchecked on this server. So I urge you to come forward if you have any information.
What exactly happened?
Global, care to give a summary, sir?
Yeah, she was banned 2 years ago for, I don't know how to describe it. Well, there's really no way to describe it. She was basically having inappropriate chats with an adult male and over Steam, which that's how she found us, through the CC tag he was wearing. She come here, took a couple weeks, finally showed her true colors. There was some red flags. We banned her. She showed back up, I guess it was in middle of March this year under a new name. Didn't talk much. And then as soon as she started talking, she was raising a few, or ruffled a few feathers just in her approach, but then once football did a little digging, he actually figured out who she was, with football being Rocket Chair, and we got her out of here again. So I will say this, what you do on your own time, I would hope is appropriate, but we cannot police what someone does, with their Steam account or whatnot. But if you're wearing a CC tag or representing CC and it spills over into here, then we have to deal with it. So, nobody's perfect. We've all made mistakes, but common sense kind of dictates if, you're being stupid. My thing is stupid can go elsewhere. So, if I could prove it, I'd already notified the FBI and got a hold of their cyber crimes deal. Because I know she was at least 2 minors the last time, minors being 17, that she was in contact with. To what degree, there's no way to prove. There's no text, no nothing. I did talk to one of the parents of one of the boys, and they couldn't get anything out of him either. We thought the best course was just to drop it, not press him and push it, but they were under the impression that something had happened. Now, to what degree, I don't know. So, is it fair? I know an announcement was put out, as far as kind of predatory nature. I honestly believe that's what she's about. But as far as I'm concerned, the rest of the council and leadership here, protecting the community is our biggest issue. So, at least try to the best we can. I think we've done that. I've been here. Neo's been here going on 14, 15 years. So, and I think we've done a pretty good job of that over the years of trying to protect as best we can. So, but it is the interwebs, and just when you think, you've seen all the stupid you're going to see, some new stupid pops up. So,
Yeah, another thing that Global's not saying is if anybody ever in our servers, if you ever feel approached in a creepy way, if you ever feel uncomfortable, if you ever have issues that you need to share with somebody, please don't hesitate to do so. That's why we have a staff. We have a staff. You wouldn't believe some of the loving things that our staff have done for people behind the scenes that you might not know. If you ever have a problem, come to us. And if you, by the way, happen to run into Reverend Lighthouse or anybody else with a name similar to that, or you think that you may have come across that person, don't be goofy about it or mean or anything of that sort. Just approach one of our leaders and let them know that person is on the server, and we'll have a talk with that person, see if everything is above board. We're not saying, hey, turn this person into a complete outcast and never talk to them again, blah blah blah. We're saying that person has been banned from our server for reasons. If you see that person anymore, we'd like to know. Please use caution, as that person is kind of not what our standard person here is, which is just helpful, normal. This person likes to manipulate people and likes drama. We don't. That's one reason they're not here anymore. But again, if anybody ever comes across things and make them feel uncomfortable, please come to anybody. Let them know. Do not hesitate.
Yeah, don't sit there and think you have to take it. When I first come around here, there was very few girls that gamed. There was a few. We had a couple, like the sisters or brother, sister. A couple of them. We had a family that had a mother. A couple of families that had the mom, the dad, and the kids and stuff. But now we've got more females, and it brings a whole new dynamic in on some of this stuff. But honestly, the only 2 problems we've ever really had that's come to attention has been with 2 women praying. One was a 19-year-old girl. That was way back. She was finagling money out of older adults. And then this gal, she was 54, 55. So I don't know what her deal is. She's lost her rabbit mind. But it is what it is. So just be careful on how you deal with people. And if issues do come up, like Neo said, don't be afraid to tell anyone. And find somebody and let us know. We'll try to stop it as quickly as we can.
What would you like to say, Keza?
First, I'd like to unmute my mic. Headbus brought up a good point. There was a prayer request made last night that had some of the moderators reaching out to help somebody. And I guess if you're new to the community and you don't know what to do and you see something like that go on in the prayer requests, please feel free to approach staff and ask us what's going on. Maybe we haven't noticed it yet. In this case, the mods were on it really quickly. There weren't any CMs on at the time, but I think they handled it really well. But on a related note to what Global was saying, if you're ever in a conversation here with anyone that's making you uncomfortable, you don't have to continue in that conversation. It doesn't matter if the person is saying they're suicidal or they need help or whatever. If you're not comfortable, back out, get a staff member, we'll take care of it. Don't feel like you have to take on stuff that you're not ready for by yourself.
Yep. I don't think we can reiterate that enough. If you guys ever... This is supposed to be a haven. It's always been a haven since the early years. The whole purpose of the community started as a place where people could play the game of their choice together in fellowship and not have to deal with certain things that you had to deal with in other places on the internet. So if you ever feel the slightest bit uncomfortable about anything, please listen to what we're saying. Headbus. Are you talking?
I see him lighting up, but I can't hear him.
What's happening to me earlier, Headbus? You go into your audio and video settings and just click your mic choice again, and you'll hear a da-doom sound. Sometimes Discord does that to me. I don't know why.
Well, I was trying to talk earlier with my mic muted, Headbus, so don't feel bad.
How was that working out?
No, nobody was hearing me. Cancel. I'm sorry, football.
I think. Try again, Headbus. He may be resorting to typing.
So this is why I never get to hear his voice.
When can type?
That's the wind.
Yeah, Headbus, is it trust and safety? Is that what it's called?
What are you saying, Neo? Discord has a system in place for this type of stuff?
Yeah, he got a hold of Discord Trust and Safety, and they emailed him back. Sounds like they sent him a form letter response, though.
can Discord actually grab from their end location?
But I just want to reiterate, as Headbuzz is talking about this, if any of you guys are ever in this situation and this just is too much for you, you can't, find your way to asking questions like locations and stuff like that, please make sure somebody else knows about it.
Well, we've dealt with some of this in the past, but the one that comes to mind, we actually knew the person who had been around here a long time. And several of us managed to figure out a phone number to get a hold of somebody that could get some authorities in contact, but that's only because we knew the person.
Oh, you'll notice in that last paragraph, they say, if you really think something is urgent, an emergency, if you tell your authorities what's going on and the authorities contact Discord, they have to legally give them information they can't legally give to you. So.
Yeah, that makes sense. So. And even then, if somebody's on a VPN, they're not going to be able to tell where they're at, or, I mean, it's kind of a no-win situation, most likely.
Alrighty, does anybody else have anything on this particular subject? Any questions or anything?
I do have something. I posted in the mod section, and I don't want to take anything away from someone posting something like this, but I do want people to realize in the past we have been trolled with prayer requests or people talking about something that's wrong with them. And good-hearted people went to great extents to try to help these people. And so that's something else to keep in mind. I don't want you to think that everyone posting something is, but when you read something and then you need to, ask questions and try to get a gut feeling, just because it was posted, don't. We actually had someone a few years back say they were having heart issues. They portrayed that for a couple months. So they were getting a heart transplant and went through the whole motions of the whole that. Had several people convinced this is what was going on. We did a little digging, a few of us, and found the guy's Facebook page, and he had pictures and posts the day after he was supposedly had a heart transplant, holding a beer and partying. So I don't know what that would be called, but it's not really catfishing, but it's in pretty poor taste to rain that kind of stuff on people. So
It'd really be called a scam. That's the definition.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't really getting anything out of anybody except people, pulling on heartstrings and people trying to help him out, and comfort and whatnot. So I don't know what his angle was, but
his angle was to get money. He may have not got any, but he was hoping that someone would be kind-hearted enough to do that. That'd be the logic behind it, I suspect.
Yeah, and then I've heard other stories, where somebody's come in here and it's usually somebody seeking attention. They make up some type of sob story and, to kind of get their foot in the door for somebody feeling sorry for them. So, I mean, it does go on, and that's part of the shtick with the whole online thing. It's kind of hard to vet some of this stuff. So, as I warned the moderators, don't think everybody that posts something is, it isn't true, but, ask questions and try to go with your gut and vet it as much as you can. So. It's not hard to make up a story real quick and pin it on the internet somewhere. So. football, and that was all. That's scary.
I was always, they always referred to the book 1984 when I was young and talked about Big Brother. But we know the truth. Big Brother's actual name is Rockin' Chair.
There's a lot of truth in that.
Alrighty, I'm going to call one more time. I have already called for this, but I'll ask one more time. Does anybody have any other open meeting business they'd like to bring into the open meeting? Alrighty, in line of that, I want to thank everybody for coming out. And as always, we have meetings like every couple of weeks when if you've got something you want to bring up, we'll have another meeting on the 27th of July unless the schedule changes. And you can always go to our forums and hop on to the pre-meeting discussion threads that we even if you won't be able to make it to a meeting. Thank everybody for coming out, and I'll ask all the leaders at this time to start making their way into the closed section channel.